My name is Yasmin Reyes.
My name is Nancy.
And we are doing our research on social media usage and the impact on college students' grade point average. Human Services 460 Research Methods. Background research. Social media. Forms of electronic communication such as Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, through which users create online communities. What is grade point average, also known as GPA? The average obtained by dividing the total number of grade points earned by the total number of credits attempted, called quality point, also it's quality point. Supporting research. Landry discussed about the distraction that social media causes. There is, in fact, a negative relationship between students who frequently spend time on social media sites in class and how it affects their GPA. Social media is a popular method for communication amongst university students. However, social media use can raise questions about whether academic performance is affected. Our research question: what is the correlation between social media usage and college students' grade point average? Our hypothesis: social media usage while attending college negatively affects grade point average. Methods. Our research design: quantitative survey research. Human Services 460 class was surveyed in the summer of 2018. The independent variables is social media usage. The dependent variable is college students' GPA. Our analyst plan was correlation tests.
For demographics, we had 6 males, 24 females, and for race, we had 10 African Americans, 17 Hispanic/Latino students, 1 white American, and for ages, we surveyed from 20 to 50 years old. For 20 to 30, we had 19 students. From 31 to 40, we had 7 students. And 41 through 50, we had 4 students. For gender, we actually have 80% female and 20% male. How old are you? So we had 16%, and they were at the age of 26. For race, we had the highest amount of Hispanic Latino students. And then for our sample survey questions, how often do you use social media during a day? And our second question was, what is your overall GPA at CSUDH? For our histogram, how often do you use social media during a day?
So here the histogram shows that a moderate amount of students, which are 9 students, use social media during the day. And then for 1.0, it means a great deal, which means that 6 students use it very often.
Our second histogram, what is your overall GPA at CSUDH?
So here it shows that students have a grade point average of 2.75 to 3.0, which is 8 students, and then 3.0 are about 4 students. And we see that there are more students with a grade point average of 3.0 and above combined together than those who have a 2.0 to 2.75. Here, when analyzing the data, we can see that the correlation shows that there is a significant level at the level of 0.996. Here it asks how often you use social media during the day, and how the person correlation between how often you use social media during the day would be 1. With our sample of 30 students, and then how often do you use social media during a day with what is your overall GPA, we have a person correlation of 0.001, and then a significant two-tailed, we get the 0.996, and we still have the sample of 30 students. When looking at just the what is your overall GPA at CSUDH with the correlation of how often you use social media during a day, we get a person correlation of 0.001, a significant two-tailed at 0.996, and our sample of students were 30. Then our person correlation with what is your overall GPA and what is your overall GPA is 1, and then our sample is still 30. Here our scatter plot shows that how often do you use social media during a day, and what is your overall GPA at TSUDH. And those who use a moderate amount of social media show that they have a 3.0 or higher going up this way. And then those students who use it very, very often to a great deal show that they have a 3.0 or higher at this rate here. When interpreting the data, we see that the first scatter plot showed that there is the correlation between social media usage and grade point average was a non-significant relationship, meaning that social media usage does not affect students' GPA. And then when looking at the bivariate correlation test, we showed that there were 30 participants, and those 30 participants showed that there was no correlation between their social media usage and their grade point averages. Here we see that the degrees of freedom, n-1, would give us 29, and then the correlation test also revealed that the relationship was negative because of our R being 0.001, which is low, and our p-value between social media usage and students' GPA. So when comparing our p-value, we see that 0.05 is higher, meaning that there is no significant relationship. For the discussion, we used the article by Yohan Shingla and Zeni Gabi Bignotti and Bison. This study found that using social media for academic purposes was a significant predictor of academic performances as measured by grade point averages. Accordingly, the statement coincides with our data collected because we found that social media does not affect students' GPA. So our strengths and limitations. So for our strengths, one of our strengths was that we had 100% participation, and then for our second strength, we also had that we had easy access to students who we sampled. For the limitations, our survey was that we needed a larger amount of students. We didn't have enough students to survey, so that might have affected our results. And we were never able to observe students, so we would have wanted to observe students to see how often they use social media during a class time, which could also play a huge role in our results. So for interventions, even though we found that there was no correlation between social media usage and grade point averages, we still noticed that social media was a distraction. So some interventions that we decided to implicate would be technology breaks, self-monitoring, so making sure that students are not using their phone too often, even in class or while studying at home, and then managing their technology, meaning that they should learn how to limit themselves from using it too frequently. And then the appropriate usage of social media, maybe creating interventions where we teach students what would be the appropriate amount or how it could affect them if they continue to use it very frequently. And these are our references.
Thank you so much.